Hello, this is Jordan, and this video is being recorded on the early afternoon of Thursday, October 22nd, 2020. And in this video, I'm going to discuss the interplay between the US dollar and specifically gold and silver. Thank you for joining me today, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Click that button to ensure that you get these videos as soon as they are posted. Now, to answer the question in a very short-term sense, yes, a weak dollar is helping precious metals. If we're looking at day-to-day action, I mean, yesterday, for example, the dollar was down, precious metals were up. Today we had the same thing, but in the other direction. However, in a broader sense, here and now, the dollar itself and its weakness is not enough to kickstart a major move here. Because precious metals are weak in real terms. It's really just been the dollar weakness recently that's been helping precious metals. But I'll get into that more. Basically, there's a couple things we need to know about this relationship, aside from the obvious. And first, gold usually leads the dollar at key turning points. I mean, I've done videos on this in the past. You can look at gold against foreign currencies, how that had such a huge move in late 2018, 2019. If you look at this particular cycle, the Fed shifted its policy at the end of 2018. That really kick-started this bull market in gold. And if you look at the chart, you can just see those lines in the middle of the gold and dollar charts. You had gold was going up throughout 2019 and into 2020, while the dollar was also rising. So that's even a little bit more than what we typically see with this relationship. But gold, it tends to lead the dollar. And, another example of that is at present, actually, because precious metals, gold and silver, you can see there, I drew a line when they peaked at the beginning of August. Since that time, the dollar has actually made a lower low. It made its lowest low very beginning of September. But that wasn't confirmed by precious metals. And, I've put it there in yellow. We can see the dollar is, it did rally today. That's not in the chart. But even yesterday, it was still very close to its September low. But if you look at the action in gold and silver, they're nowhere close to those August peaks. So the dollar weakness, in a broader sense, has not been confirmed by gold and silver. So this gets back to, one of my conclusions, but, gold and gold stocks are more of a leading indicator than the dollar. The dollar, with respect to precious metals, yes, it's important, but it tends to be more of a lagging indicator than a leading indicator. So keep that in mind. Now, another point that I want to make here is that as far as dollar weakness itself, that tends to be more of a benefit to commodities as a whole, and therefore more of a benefit to silver relative to gold. And the reason for that is that a weak dollar contributes to rising inflation expectations. And that's inflation expectations. Part of what drives silver, you have the same fundamentals that drive gold, the falling real interest rates or negative real interest rates. But also at the same time, you have inflation expectations. So silver has those two. Gold really only has the one. And so the weak dollar, it helps drive rising inflation expectations. That's why it tends to benefit silver relative to gold more, and also commodities as a whole. So now circling back to gold itself, we saw what happened in 2019. So a rising dollar isn't necessarily that negative for gold. And the reason, if we've seen this lately, is because ultimately it brings about more favorable policy for gold. What happens if the dollar were to rebound and gain a lot of traction? Yes, we'd probably see precious metals soften, but that would just bring about a lot more bullish policy for gold and precious metals. So it's kind of, there's a lot of nuance there. It's a little counterintuitive. But that's how I look at it. And so here are the important takeaways, if you don't want to hear me babble on about it. Number one, there's three, but gold tends to lead the U.S. dollar. We've seen that multiple times over the last 20 years. And then silver tends to be more correlated to US dollar weakness than gold. And finally, and that's the here and now, and the current US dollar weakness, it hasn't been confirmed by precious metals. Because as we said, the dollar is pretty close to that September low. Precious metals, I mean, they're in correction mode. They're nowhere close to their August highs. So they haven't been responding to the weak dollar recently in a broader sense. I'm not talking about day-to-day moves. So again, ultimately, the dollar is very important, but it tends to be more of a lagging indicator for the precious metals sector. I'd focus more of your time watching the price action of other markets, obviously, and especially gold and silver and the gold stocks. So with all that said, I hope this video is informative for you. You can follow all of my work at TheDailyGold.com. You can opt in there. You get a free copy of my book. Also, you can consider my premium newsletter. It's very affordable, highly affordable. I'm looking forward to getting hopefully yourself and other subscribers into these great stocks that have 3x, 5x, 7x upside over the next couple of years. Looking forward to getting the buy opportunities in those stocks, given my view of the sector right now over the next month or two. I do think we're going to have a very good entry point coming. Thank you again for watching this video, and I look forward to publishing another one for you in the days and weeks ahead. And last thing, subscribe to my channel. Thank you.